Nazis hunted him. He laughed and then obliterated 44 ships in just 24 months. It sounds like a legend, the kind of story sailors whisper in low voices long after the war is over. But in the cold, unforgiving waters of the North Atlantic between 1939 and 1941, it was terrifyingly real. His name was Otto Kretschmer. On September 3, 1939, Britain declared war on Germany. Within hours, the Atlantic Ocean became the largest battlefield on Earth. Thousands of miles of dark, rolling water now carried the fate of nations. Britain's survival depended on merchant ships, slow, vulnerable vessels hauling food, fuel, ammunition, and troops. If those ships stopped coming, the island would starve. Beneath the waves, German U-boats began to hunt. Among them was a sleek Type 7B submarine known as U-99. It was fast, agile, and deadly. 5 torpedo tubes, 14 torpedoes, an 88mm deck gun, and at its center stood a calm, disciplined commander who believed in silence, precision, and patience. Otto Kretschmer was not loud. He did not boast. He spoke little and listened carefully. Born in 1912 in Silesia, he had joined the German Navy long before the Nazis rose to power. To him, the sea was not ideological, it was mathematical. Distance, speed, angles, timing. Kretschmer believed in a simple rule: 1 torpedo, 1 ship. No waste, no panic, no second chances. By the autumn of 1939, U-99 was already slipping through British patrols in the North Sea. Kretschmer preferred to attack at night, on the surface, where his submarine was faster than most escorts. He would glide into convoys like a shadow, firing from impossibly close range. There was no warning, no drawn-out chase, just a sudden explosion amidships, steel tearing apart, fire erupting into the darkness, men thrown into freezing water. Fear gripped merchant sailors who survived those first attacks. Many reported the same thing: they never saw him coming. By January 1940, Kretschmer sank 7 ships in a single patrol. Over 50,000 tons vanished beneath the waves in weeks. British intelligence noticed a pattern. Someone was operating with frightening efficiency. Destroyers were dispatched, convoys were reinforced, aircraft patrolled the skies, depth charges churned the sea. But Kretschmer adapted. When hunted, he did not run, he waited. As explosions thundered above U-99, the hull groaning under pressure, chlorine gas leaking from damaged batteries, his crew looked to him in silence. He gave no dramatic speeches. He simply ordered the boat deeper, and then deeper still. Again and again, he escaped. By mid-1940, the war intensified. France had fallen. German U-boats now operated from Atlantic ports like Lorient and Saint-Nazaire. The oceans suddenly felt smaller to Allied sailors. Kretschmer's tally climbed relentlessly. Ship after ship disappeared. Tankers, cargo vessels, armed merchantmen, entire convoys were thrown into chaos by a single submarine. British sailors gave him a name: Silent Otto. By early 1941, he was the most successful U-boat commander in history and the most hunted man in the Atlantic. The Royal Navy and Royal Canadian Navy coordinated tirelessly to stop him. New sonar systems scanned the depths, escort tactics improved, air patrols closed the gaps. The hunters were learning. On the night of March 16, 1941, near convoy HX-112 south of Iceland, Kretschmer struck again. 2 ships were sent to the bottom in rapid succession. But this time, something was different. British destroyers HMS Walker and HMS Vanek detected him almost immediately. ASDIC contacts held steady. Depth charges rolled into the water. The first explosions shook U-99 violently. The second wave cracked internal systems. Lights flickered. The air grew foul, water pouring through damaged valves. For 3 brutal hours, the destroyers attacked without pause. The situation became impossible. At just after 3 in the morning, Kretschmer ordered U-99 to surface. The night exploded into blinding light. Searchlights locked on. Gunfire ripped across the deck. U-99 was finished. At 03:18 hours, Otto Kretschmer gave his final command: abandon ship. He was pulled from the freezing Atlantic and taken aboard a British destroyer. The man who had haunted the seas was now a prisoner of war. By the time of his capture, Otto Kretschmer had sunk 47 ships, more than 273,000 tons in just 20 months of combat. No submarine commander of the Second World War would ever surpass that record. His success forced the Allies to adapt faster, to innovate, to change the very nature of convoy warfare. Radar, sonar, escort carriers, many of these advances were driven by the need to stop men like him. Kretschmer spent the rest of the war in Allied prison camps. He was treated with professional respect by officers who understood exactly how dangerous he had been. He survived the war. Thousands of sailors he sent into the Atlantic did not. He was awarded the Knight's Cross with oak leaves and swords, one of Germany's highest military decorations. Yet his legacy remains complicated. He was not a political fanatic. He was a technician of war, precise, disciplined, and lethal. His story is a reminder of how thin the line can be between skill and destruction, between duty and devastation. The Atlantic remembers him, and so do the men who never came home.